Mama Selena for African Daisy, and I am heading to pick up some supper tonight. And I wanted to talk to you about something. So I was listening to, there's another YouTuber, Kenyan YouTuber, who talks about Kenyans returning and, you know, all that stuff. So anyway, one of the topics that he was talking about was how it is for Kenyans returning, you know, really the village. He talks about village life a lot. Anyway, it was a very interesting topic and conversation. The thing that struck me about it was something that my husband and I have always recognized, noticed, maybe not always, but I would say it didn't take us long to realize that when, you know, you kind of always hear this thing of like, go make us proud, you know, and come back and bring changes. No one wants you to come back and bring changes, I promise you. They're not looking for it. But if you leave, you'll be changed. So anyway, so when you come back, it's going to be different for you, right? So whether you're Kenyan, whether you are American, it doesn't really matter. When I remember the first time, not the first time, but I remember coming back to the States after having been in Kenya for a time, and I remember how, like, I just remember realizing that I've changed, that I'm never going to be looked at as fully American in that sense. And so it was definitely one of those things that really struck me because, yeah, just the way you think about things. So anyway, and then of course I come back. For me, now coming back to Kenya also has, maybe I would say, a similar effect in that, you know, you recognize that you've changed and you're different, but you will never be acknowledged, you know, as Kenyan, and especially me, my white skin, I'll never be acknowledged as a Kenyan. Maybe to those that know my heart, but to the, you know, majority of people here, I will never be acknowledged in that way. So, which is okay, really, you know. There's a few that like to flatter you, you know, like to say things, but, you know, the reality is, but anyway, so the point I'm trying to make in all of this is that I have definitely realized that people do not want you to succeed. Now they already look at me as, you know, basically, let's just be honest, you know, this is basically a village. It's basically what this is. And the reality is that, you know, I'm not here handing everybody money. And, you know, what are mzungus good for, right? You know, to take advantage of, you know, try to get some money, right? Beyond that, then it's a little bit annoying. Like, what are you doing here? Now, some of you, I know, may be offended by my comments, but that's on you. That's your own problem. So I don't really care if you're offended, because this is just a reality that I face. And I don't say this for sympathy, because I'm not looking for it. I am definitely not looking for sympathy in that way. I've known this. I've known this since 1998. Yes. It's the first time I was in Kenya. So I have known that this is a thing. And so anyway, but the goodness with me is, like, I'm that kind of person. I'm the kind of person that you don't want me to come and stay, then, you know. Well, no, actually, this is not true. Let me say it this way. God, I knew that when I was 16, that God had called me to this place. I knew it. He made it very clear that I was supposed to be here. So I think that that causes you to know that, you know what, no matter what people think about you, no matter how they view you, no matter any of that, it does not matter, because you start to realize that you got to do what God has said. And so I remember asking the Lord the one day, and He said, I'm calling you to go love on a people, not necessarily that those people love you, but you're supposed to go love them. And God did that for us. And it doesn't mean, when I say that, some of you are like, don't be offended. Like, who you are. It's not every single canyon out there. There's wonderful canyons, and I love this place. And I do say this out of love for this place. I love Kenya. I love Kenya. I'm living here, but I am going to address these things because, it is definitely one of those should be addressed. Because how do you move forward when you don't, when you don't say the things? So anyway, so I say that to say, when my husband and I came, of course, it was a big deal because, first of all, the expectation. I think the expectation kind of is like, this, now we're just going to be raking in the millions and billions and trillions because we have a mzungu in the area. And then they learned that that was not happening like that. Now you could think that I'm not a generous human being, but that's your prerogative. You can think what you want. But money is not the solution. And I promise you, with all my years, the years that I've been here, back and forth, and married into a Kenyan family, I know very well that money is not the solution. And so people don't like that either, because, don't we all want $1 million to land in our lap? We all do, right? But it doesn't work like that. So, unless you want to give it to me, So anyway, yeah, it is just an interesting. So to sum it all up, basically, is that despite all of those things, as a white person, how they view you, how you're treated, despite all of that, I love this place. I absolutely do. Despite the staring, oh my goodness, I didn't even mention the staring. Oh, I learned to stare. Oh God, I look at people. I'm learning to look at people. And whether some people think that's good or bad, that's what people do here. People stare like heck, and they don't try to hide it. They just really stare. So even me, I just stare. I would just look at you. I don't even, here I would say I don't even call it staring. I just look at you. I'll really look at you. So anyway, I'm learning that to embrace some things, of course, I will never embrace. Some things I will, I will not. And some things I'm learning to embrace. And I'm also realizing, in view of eternity, all these things that I've said, I don't say them to try to, conjure up some kind of sympathy or make you, or to say how bad this place is. No. Because, when you love a place, when God is called you to a place, because this is where He's called me to be, it is home, it is wonderful, and like any place in the world, not everything is perfect, right, about it. And so just learning those things and learning how to adjust, it's a process, it's exciting, it's all the things. So I just want to encourage all of you to embrace, maybe I would say, wherever you are, Embrace the good and the bad, but not the bad. Embrace the good. Uh, you know, change in the areas, learn different things. But of course, never embrace the bad. Let me just tell you, I do not believe that that's necessary. You know, there are some things for me. I'm very time conscious. Kenny's not. uh, but I am. And so I have realized that people will treat you the way you allow them to treat you, the way that you set up. I mean, there are people who are just, people are just going to do what they're going to do. None of us can control anybody. Okay. But there is a way of, but you can also allow, people that you have in your life to treat you anyhow. And let's say, I have a dear friend who, I have a friend who is late a lot. I mean, she just has that, she's not time conscious. Okay. And, but one of the things that she's learning to do is to be a little more time conscious, and she's realizing that she can be. Because I'm like, well, this is when we said we'd be here. You're not, so I'm leaving. So I came, I did what I was doing, and I left. And the thing is, as an American, like, we can do that. Like, it's not a big deal. Maybe that's an issue here, but it's not a big deal. And so what I'm realizing, like, is, and I'll say, hey, this is when we said we're going to do this. So if something came up and you can't do it, you let me know, because we're friends. Okay. So we have to, and some people have this opinion that, oh, well, you're in their country. No, I'm in my country. I'm also in my country. This is where I live. So I'm also here. And so, and it doesn't matter how much a Kenyan is in America. They're never American. They still have those traits. There's still things that are in them. It doesn't matter how much an American is in Kenya. There's still things within them. Okay. So it's just true. But what I've realized is it has helped. And so there are some of those things that I don't compromise on. And I think that's okay. If there is, and I've enjoyed the laid backness. That just is so laid back. I have enjoyed a lot of those things. And so anyway, yeah. So I just wanted to share that. And I love you all. I am so glad. Thank you so much for listening to my ramblings. And if you made it this far, I love you all. Please like, share, and subscribe. And yes, I love you all. Bye.